What it is, it's your boy Trauma, and we back with another one. Yes, again, another one. Look, man, I didn't even want to revisit this, but everybody talking about it for obvious reasons. The Warriors pull off a trade yesterday, right before tip off of the debacle loss to the Jazz. Man, this move is desperate, man. It's desperate. Like desperate housewives of San Francisco or desperate house husbands of San Francisco. I mean, you send Wiggins out, you bring Jimmy Butler in, you send Wiggins out with a couple other pieces. And, I mean, it's just like yada. Like what's that? What's that record? Yada 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 yada. Like that's how I feel right now. I think ownership has failed the Warriors, failed Steph Curry. And we're going to get into it today. We're going to get into it today. What my man say, oh, I got time today. Yeah, I got time today. But before I give it to you raw and uncut like I always do, like the man himself, Coach Primetime Dion say, give me my theme music.
Super Bowl money. You got to pay me. Super Bowl money. You got to pay me. Super Bowl money. You got to pay me. Super Bowl money.
Go. All right, y'all. I told you we back with one. So the Warriors make the move to acquire Jimmy Butler, right? Granted, we knew that wasn't the first choice. Let's say that. KD was the first choice. But I guess everybody outside of the Warriors organization knew that that wouldn't happen, except everybody inside the Warriors organization. So this is going to bring me to my first point. You've seen the thumbnail. Steph Curry. I probably should have added Curry in there too. But Draymond Green specifically is the reason that the dynasty is over, that it is DEA capital D, it's unalived, it's got COVID, it's over. Draymond the reason for all of this. KD was the first choice, but everybody knew KD wasn't coming back. KD not coming back to deal with Draymond. KD knew, like Clay knew, like Pooh knew, like Bob Myers knew. Everybody seen the writing on the wall. And for whatever reason, the Warriors organization and Kerr, Dunleavy too, none of them in that organization are leaders of men. None of them in that organization can stand 10 toes down. That's the reason Draymond's still there. Every time you hear anybody talk about Draymond and what he does for the team, it's always emotional. You're right, he is emotional. He's emotional. But this is professional sports, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be more than just emotional. That's all Draymond is now. But everybody outside the organization saw this coming because when he was good, he was still this emotional player. So what happened with every player, the older you get, you lose a step. Whether it's your jump shot or you're a receiver, you lose your speed. Or you a running back, you lose your legs. As you get older, your athleticism goes. So then you got to rely on other aspects, your mental, your toughness, your skills. You got to improvise more. Draymond was never a great player. Let's be real. Draymond was never a great elite top 20 player. Draymond was on a team with great players, and Draymond would do great things at times. Draymond has never been a shooter. Draymond can't shoot free throws. Draymond can't rebound consistently with bigs down low. He can bang with them sometimes. So he's an undersized center forward and too big of a guy and can't shoot to be a guard, really. So for a while, yeah, he was that emotional leader. He was that when everything's flat, go get a technical foul and get thrown out and get a spark for your team. And for the Warriors, ownership and head coach, they've allowed it so much, they've ignored it so much, that now they're stuck with the decline of Draymond Green, and all he is an emotional liability. Draymond Green, you're an emotional liability. With any great athlete, they will tolerate you until your production slips. You've seen it in history with multiple sports. Antonio Brown, Randy Moss, Plexico. The list goes on and on. You got divas, or you got people with just bigger personalities. Lattimore, Stephon Diggs. The list goes on and on. The Warriors has been the only organization to not understand when it's time to let a player go because their production doesn't match their actions, or in Draymond's case, his antics. The Warriors are the only organization. Draymond, let me say this. Draymond should have been let go, and this is where I blame ownership. Draymond first and foremost, but then I blame ownership because they've allowed it to continue. Because they could have stopped this soon as it happened. Let's look at the players that Draymond has caused to leave, one out, or for ownership to listen to Curry on Draymond's behalf. Okay? Jordan Poole, the slap, the smack. Steve Kerr came out right after that, and the only thing he said was he was mad that it got out. I knew then what side of the fence he was on. Clay and Steph didn't say nothing. They not alphas. They not alpha. Draymond was the only bully in that locker room. I ain't even going to call him alpha. I won't even call Draymond alpha. Because he does what he does to certain individuals in the league. And you've heard the talks for years of, I bet he wouldn't do this to Garnett. I bet he wouldn't do this to this person or that person. Rasheed Wallace. So he's not alpha, he's a bully. He's a bully. And I'm going to have to do an interview with a couple of people that's been around Draymond getting his hair cut when he around some real alphas, like real dudes, right? And they'll tell you he don't even say much. He sit there, he be quiet. He be quiet. Now, he usually get the homie to come to him, but it's been times where Draymond just sits there quietly. He's not alpha around other alphas. So he was a bully. Just like he made the comment recently about, man, just get over it. And BD, come on, dog. That's a whole nother story. I get it. It's clicks, it's views. But come on, man. Come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. Cats done called Dre out in front of, not the same energy. Not the same energy. So he not alpha, he's a bully. But Poole's out of there. Okay? Clay got tired of it. Clay wasn't a good person in the locker room. Clay went from being that dog to he got tired of it. Quietly, Klay was always on the bubble when it came to the three. Klay, Curry, and Dre. Well, four with Kerr. Kerr and Curry has used Draymond as the enforcer, as if something needs to be said or done, they go to him because they're not leaders of men. Let's just be a buck. Let's be a buck. Both of them put on lotion before they dribble a ball. Let's be a buck. KD got tired of it. That's why KD wanted out. And we're going to look up some stats. Oh, yeah, we're going to look up some stats. But that's ownership. Ownership allowed Draymond and his antics, and then Curry and Kerr, who got the final say-so, or who's in and who's out, that flowed right up to the ownership, and they've allowed it. That's why the GM got up out of there. He saw the writing on the wall. He said, man, you got a dude that's giving you 7, 7, and 2 to be one of the highest paid players on the roster. And his production don't match his salary. You hear the radio stations in the Bay, Steiny and Goo, they bring up everybody else's who's not playing to their salary, who's not playing to their contract. Draymond is not playing for his contract. If you went around the league and looked at his stats and compared to people that's making the same amount of money for the stats that's on paper, Draymond should be paying, Draymond should be playing for $3 to $7 million a year. And that's just because you can't go no lower. Let's call it what it is. What ownership should have did and what Kurt should have did, but because, look, listen, when you are not a leader of men, then you have to defer to other people. We'll just say that. Kerr deferred. Curry deferred. Klay Thompson deferred. Nobody came to Poole's defense. Klay was the only one who I felt bad for Poole. I think they were good friends. But Klay didn't even have the us to come out and stand on his business for his homie and say, hold up. And let's say this now, because everybody, well, he called him the B word and Draymond uses that faithfully. That's why I know he ain't alpha. He can talk that talk, but when you come from where he say he come from, as black men, you don't use that word with another. So see, you got to judge a man by that. Draymond yelled at 24/7 at other people. Poole did it to him, so he smacked him. But I guarantee you it's been 100 other players that done launched it back at him when he done said it to them and he ain't do nothing. Physical. He might have did, he might have got teed up or throughout the game, and that's what he gonna do with the refs around. But he wouldn't have smacked him because he know. That's what bullies do, not what alphas do. I say it again. That's what bullies do, not what alphas do. But ownership should have nipped it in the bud. And when the issue with KD came up, guess what? Dre should have been shipped out right then and there. I said it then. This about to be the downfall. It's like letting a kid wild out in the store. You see them kids in the store, they just wild out with their parents, and then their parents end up giving in and giving them what they want. Guess what? If you saw them again in a month or a year, they'll do the same thing. Meyer saw it. KD saw it. Poole saw it. Klay Thompson saw it. Wiggins saw it. The cancer in the Warriors organization is Draymond Green. The cancer in the Warriors organization is Draymond Green. People talk about players like AB. No one wants to play with him. Kyrie. They said about LeBron. No one wants to play with him. Nobody wants to play with Draymond. The reason people came before wasn't Draymond, I can tell you that. It's because you had the best two backcourt in NBA history. The Warriors didn't respect it. That's why Klay's out of there. Kerr didn't respect it. That's why KD's out of there. The GM left for the same reasons. And Kerr, all he care about is Curry. That's it. That's it. Not the team, Curry. So ownership, you guys are to blame for this. Draymond helped sink the boat, but you kept driving it. You didn't patch the hole. The hole was Draymond, and he's still there. So after the KD situation, how do you let somebody go that's averaging 30 and 8, 30 and 9 a night, playoff finals MVP? How do you let him walk and keep Draymond Green? Make that make sense to me. For all the Warrior fans, that's what you guys should be at. That's what you guys should be asking. How do you let, and think about this was a few years ago. How do you let a finals MVP, KD, the sniper, walk out of your building and keep Draymond Green, who might have been averaging at the time, 10 and 7? How? Because nobody in the organization are real alphas. No one is really leaders of men. Curry, Kerr, Dunleavy. Look at him. Clay, look at him. Poole, look at him. So they've allowed Draymond to just run the organization right into the dirt. So the current situation of the Warriors, let the world say, thank you, Draymond. Steph Curry played a huge part because he co-signed everything. Thank you, Steph Curry. Steve Kerr. Thank you, Steve Kerr. You guys have allowed Draymond to be the cancer among you. And instead of cutting out the cancer, what the Warriors have consistently done, that sounded crazy, consistently. What the Warriors have consistently done is cut off a finger, cut off the thumb, remove the hand, remove the arm. Instead of getting rid of the cancer, eventually the cancer will spread and the whole body will die. With this trade, it lets me know, along with Steph Curry, his knees, Steve Kerr's chin, and Draymond antics, the ownership pockets, it's all about to die. Soon as the Luka deal was done, if I was the Warriors and Dunleavy, because that showed me everybody that I thought I couldn't get, everybody's available for the right price or the right situation or the right antics. Soon as the Luka deal was done, I would have got on the phone and called the Lakers and figured out whatever it took. If you're doing this for Steph Curry, and a week before you said, we want to do everything to get him another ring, he deserves it. But then you guys came back and said, but we can't mortgage the future. Well, I hate to tell you, you mortgaged the future because Draymond Green is still there. He's infected every person that is there. Cancer affects the body. Every player on that roster is being infected with cancer from Draymond. Whether that be minutes, situations, not having a voice, making Steve Kerr sit players and not want to play players and making excuses for it. The cancer. is Draymond. But they should have got on the phone with the Lakers and whatever it took. I mean, that includes taking Bronny too. Come on, Bronny. What do you need? Give up Kuminga. You could have gave up Kuminga. Give up some future picks. Because you're going to have to blow it up anyway. The problem is, when it's time to blow it up, you're going to fire Kerr. Dunleavy's out. Draymond trash already. Kerr going to be in a wheelchair. Or Curry going to be in a wheelchair. So you ain't going to have nothing to get no more assets with. So you might as well have mortgage it off and got the best player available right now. Antetokounmpo. I would have shot at that. Go shoot. If you're going to shoot, shoot. Don't pull up and just shoot a little bit. The end result is the same, right? Whether you shoot with a 22 or a 500 Mossberg, the outcome is the same. You're going to jail. Don't matter the size of the bullet. It don't matter how hard you try. It don't matter how much you gave up. When the rebuild come, the rebuild come. So the two options I thought they had was go all in on LeBron, whatever that meant, Go get LeBron. Or option two. And again, seeing how the Warriors was so blinded by Draymond and not being able to know when a player's production don't match their antics, I can't blame them for not seeing and recognizing this. You love a player like Steph so much, sit down and talk to him, and guess what? Steph would have been gone. Right? Steph, wherever you want to go, let's see what we can do. You want to win some more? We ain't in a position to really do with what we have. Steph is your assets. Kuminga young, Wiggins is young. I guarantee you, if you would have got Draymond out of there, all of them other guys would have played better. Guaranteed. Steve Kerr would have coached better. He's still talking about we're not a layup team. We're not a mid-range. What do you mean you're not a mid-range or a layup team? You learn how to shoot a mid-range and do layups and it ain't you, man. What do you mean? Kerr won't even change. He still think he got the 2015, 2016 Warriors. You can't shoot and rain threes when you don't have that. You can't play man-to-man coverage in football with corners that only play zone. You can't do go routes all day and chuck it up with receivers that are only 5'9". Unless they the cheater. But you get my point, right? So the whole organization are starting to show flaws. First option, all in on LeBron no matter what it takes. If you worried about winning right now for Steph Curry. Him and LeBron, I think LeBron got an extra year or two longer than Curry. It would have worked for the Lakers. Luka young, they building for the future. Get them some more assets. Cool. Lakers didn't do it, but they brought a couple more pieces in. Right now, the Lakers are ahead of the Warriors. Crazy as it sounds. The other option was what? You put Steph Curry on the chop block, get what you can, and say, you know what, right here is what we're going to do. We're going to build for the future. Or at least, if Butler is your second or third option, because I believe the Warriors' options in order of preference was KD, I can understand, then Zach LaVine, which I don't get, or maybe it was Zach LaVine first, knowing the Warriors, and then Jimmy Butler. And I'm okay with bringing Butler in for a couple reasons, but don't give Wiggins away. He's your best two-way player. He's your best three-point shooter outside of Steph, and Steph been starting slow with tendonitis in his knees, and your best defender can guard all the way up and down the lineup. So don't give him away. Your coach is already hindering Kuminga. So you might as well say, look, hey, we'll give you Kuminga, maybe GP2, I don't know, some picks. Get Butler, keep Wiggins. Got Curry. You got some pieces. Now you can go at it. But you bring in Jimmy Butler, which I love the idea. I love the idea. I just think that the Warriors, and again, it goes back to Steve. Steve Kerr plays a large part in this. Watching him over the last couple years, watching and listening to some of his comments, and Steve Kerr plays a big part too. I don't know why we have Draymond Green with the ball in his hands playing point guard as much as he does. That's coaching. That's because the coach is scared to just say, you know what, don't do that, Dre. I think Kerr is actually scared to say that. So you bring in Jimmy Butler. You bring in Jimmy Butler, who's a dog. Him and Draymond are complete opposites. Draymond's a bully. Jimmy Butler's a dog. And I'll give it 10, 15, 20 games and let Draymond, he's a bully. He's emotional. He get in his feelings a little bit, and it ain't going to be the same as Poole. I can guarantee you that. Because Jimmy going to tell him what I'm telling you guys right now. Homie, you pay too much, you do too little. Get over yourself. So I'm okay with bringing in Jimmy Butler. But a week ago, everybody was saying he didn't move the needle enough. He didn't move the needle enough. The stats comparing, if we compared everybody who left, so Poole, and let's look at his stats. Let's look at Poole's stats. Poole, with the Wizards, is averaging about 23 and 5. Okay? 23 and 5. 20 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists or something. 30 minutes, whatever. Okay. KD is averaging about 35, 36 minutes, 25, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Klay Thompson, still coming back off the injury. Klay, I don't hold Klay's stats as like I do KD's. But anyway, KD stats or Klay Thompson stats. I'm sorry. Klay averaging about 27 minutes, 13 points. Last year was about 18. But he shooting almost 40% from 3, which is what he's done his whole career. 3.5 rebounds, 2 assists. Okay, so that's Poole, KD, Klay Thompson. All right? We're going to look at Wiggins. I'm going somewhere with this. Just bear with me. So Wiggins has consistently been a 17 to 25 kind of guy, right? But with the Warriors, he's about 18 points, 4 to 5 rebounds, 2.5 assists a game. All right? Let's look at the cancer, Draymond Green. Because, see, you can go off all the emotional this and in-game this. Let's go off the stats, the bottom line. Because the bottom line is what get coaches and players fired or hired. Right? Let's look at the stats. Solely the stats. Draymond, and let me say this. Everybody been complaining about how much Wiggins missed games and this. Okay. Curry and Draymond load management, Wiggins missed games. But if we go stat for stat, even the games, Draymond has done nothing but miss games. They're like 36 games, 55 games, 73, 63, okay, 43. So, but anyway, that's not my concern. My concern is the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years, Draymond has not been in double digits in points, rebounds, or assists. Let me say that again. The last 6 or 7 years, the cancer that has the whole organization about to die don't have double digits in anything other than minutes played and games played. He don't have double digits in points, rebounds, or assists. So what does he do? If there's anybody in the NBA or on the Warriors that is not playing to their contract, is Draymond Green. You a 7-7-2 guy, emotional leader. You can't even be emotional leader with those kind of stats. No reason those young guys ain't playing like they should be playing. They can't even believe that the organization is giving you the keys to try to tell them to do something. Teach them to do stuff the right way. Part of being a leader ain't just vocally. Teaching them how to prepare for the game, how to play the game. Not slap people in the groin. Not smack people across the face. Not call a bunch of other grown men the B word. So if we just looked at the stats, every person that the Warriors got rid of because of Draymond Green had better stats, has had better stats when they were there and after they left. I think the Warriors organization and their coach, they've been getting rid of the wrong people. But now it's too late. Dunleavy and the ownership, again, Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry, all 4 of those people had to sign off or give a nod for this deal to happen. And it ain't no knock to Jimmy Butler. But those 4 people that's been allowing Draymond to be Draymond and just be there, he's a paid water guy. I haven't even looked at how many other people on the Warriors roster average what he's averaging. This tells me the Warriors, as an organization, they don't look at analytics. And if they are, they've clearly been ignoring them, and this is the outcome when you ignore analytics. And there is an emotional side to everything. There's a leadership side to everything. But your leadership and emotional side cannot be 90-95% of what you evaluate in a player on. It just can't. And if it is, it's the new Draymond. That's about to be the new phrase for it. You Draymonding. Come on, man. What, Boom or somebody do it? Come on, man. Booger McFarland, come on, man. You 7-7-2 making the kind of money you making. And the organization still got you around. So, yeah, Draymond is the ringleader for the dynasty falling and still driving the organization into the dirt. It's like that person who, that lady who keep dating everybody and keep saying all these men are no good, and she done been through and slept with 7-8 men in the last 2, 3, 4 years. No, I don't think it's the man, mama. I think it's you. That's it. It's your boy Trauma. I told you I'd give it to you raw and uncut. Hey, the deal done now. Jimmy Butler, Golden State Warrior, for the next 2 years, $121 million, something like that. Wiggins, he in Miami. Best of luck to him. Best of luck to Jimmy too. Jimmy gonna do what Jimmy do. Cream rises. That I'll say. Cream rises. But hey, everybody got 2.5 years left on their contracts. The head coach included. I think Dunleavy then wrote the last check he'll write. And I think Kerr, being so stubborn and not willing to change and not being a leader of men, as well as Curry, I think they've all sealed their fate. Curry knees is as bad as they are right now because they've allowed Draymond to run everybody else off. So Curry still has to do too much. Can you imagine if Poole was still here, KD was still here, Clay was still here? Like just imagine. Curry wouldn't have to do as much. But when you allow somebody, a child, to run reckless, they end up running your household. But the Golden State Warriors, they didn't get rid of the cancer as soon as they knew they had it. And I think we're seeing the end of it. Till next time, I'm your boy Trauma. And you know, we don't always get it right, but we always bring that trauma. Holla at your boy.